All right, everyone. Welcome to an interesting special afternoon edition of OUTLAW Radio. Let me see if I can get myself nice. Here we are. Hi. Music turned down. Let me get beautiful. Hi, everybody. I am happy to be here today. Welcome to a special episode number 25. 25 of OUTLAW Radio. I've done this 25 times, live and not so live. Today is live though. I know I normally go at 10 p.m., but life being the way it is, I'm here live on the YouTubes and my TikToks at the same time. Still haven't ponied up so I can get the multi-stream on Facebook and stuff, but I guess I will record this thing and I'll send it up there later. What the hell, I'll give that a go. Anyways, thank you all for being here today. Welcome to OUTLAW Radio, episode 25. I, of course, am the Outlaw Adam Knight. Been a pro wrestler since September of 1995. I've had a chance to wrestle all across most of Canada, into the United States and Japan. I've had to work some of the biggest names. I've had the chance it is to work some of the biggest names across the industry. Had a couple of cups of coffee in WWE, most recently in AEW, and some other places along the way. Got to train in the All Japan Dojo until I blew out my knee. That's a story for another time. And had a lovely chance to go back for Tajiri Smash not that long after that. I am also an author. I am a self-published author of books that you can find up on the Amazons. Let me see if I can find those images for you right now. And bam, there they are. If you happen to like urban fantasy or books along the lines of Jack Reacher or the Dresden Files, these are the books for you. You can find them under my name, Adam Knight. Go to Amazon.com. Take a look for my books. They're available in Kindle, paperback, or hardcover. And while we're also talking about that, and there's stuff you might be interested in, please go to ProWrestlingTees.com and check out my merchandise. This is, of course, my official logo. I am, of course, the Outlaw Adam Knight. You can find this and many other options at ProWrestlingTees.com/OutlawAK. You can go take a look down below as well for all of the links there. Or if you really want to, up over here in the corner, I've got this new QR code I'm trying out. So that should take you to my link tree, and we should be able to go strictly from there. So, with that said, a bunch of things have been happening recently that I'm very excited about, and that's always very dope. I've had a very busy wrestling period, and today's episode will be wrestling heavy. I know I talk a lot on here sometimes about, mental health and relationship issues and, the opportunity for men to be better men and obviously about art and writing and all that other stuff. Again, I got me books. That's for another time. It's the end of WrestleMania season. It's been a busy couple of weeks, both professionally for myself locally and around the industry as a whole. So I figured now is as good a time as any for us to be, oh shoot, I'm getting a double back feedback there. Getting the feedback there, which no good. 1 second. How do I fix that? There, that's how I fix that. So anyways, professional radio, I tell you. I'm a vlogger. I'm a pro vlogger. Anyways. What was I saying? Shit. Busy time in the wrestling industry. I'm going to start with my local scene. Going to work on out to the rest of the industry, and we'll finish up on WrestleMania because that seems to be the way to go. And yes, I know WrestleMania was already almost 10 days ago, but been a busy time. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go through things all one at a time here as we go. So let's first of all talk about, this is better, Blaze Pro Wrestling. This, of course, is my home promotion here in Winnipeg, Manitoba these days, operated by Billy Blaze and his family and Uncle Bepsy, Mr. Tony, and a bunch of other team. We are a very tight-knit team of wrestlers and up-and-coming trainees. We work very, very hard here in the city of Winnipeg and the province of Manitoba to deliver some family-friendly, highly character-driven events. We've been fortunate to have multiple sellouts for the last calendar year. It's been over a year, I think, since we've been unable to get every seat filled. I think we might have been over capacity for our Anarchy in April event just last Friday. So I want to take a few minutes here just to talk about this event. Last week, of course, I did a preview of the event, so it seems only appropriate to talk about it. We started a little bit as close on time as we could. We had a wonderful opportunity to meet all of our new sponsors, which is great. Thank you. Obviously, I'm not going to remember them all off the top of my head, so please go to www.blazeprowrestling.com for all the details about all of the sponsors for all of our events. That would be great. What happened at Anarchy in April? Well, we have new tag team champions. High-Vis is unfortunately unable to compete at their fullest capacity, so El Diablo Blanco defended by himself against Eddie Alvarez, and of course, our lovely trainee, Ms. Candy Chaos. And we have new tag team champions. And that was wonderful to see the crowd's generous reaction to Candy and Eddie becoming the new tag team champions. They're, of course, facing some stiff competition going forward between Austin Aston and Kevin O'Doyle, and, of course, the tag team of the Masked Zamils. What happens going forward in June is going to be an interesting question, but right now, they're the champs. And a feel-good story all around. Of course, Bliss Pro Wrestling owner and operator, and, of course, the hardcore champion, Mr. Billy Blaze, is a crazy bastard, and he did put his title up on the line against, what's the gentleman's name? Sheriff Chris Payne. And he has done his very best to try to dethrone Mr. Blaze in that regard. A member of the office tried to come on in and take the hardcore title from Billy, and all that really happened was these guys went to war, and they beat the holy high heck out of each other for that crowd's entertainment. And Billy's feeling it today. So that's good. And but he's still the champ, and things are going well. So mad respects for all the gentlemen involved in that match. That was a wild one. Obviously, I do need to talk about Corey Diamond versus Reggie Gallagher in the semi-main event in a lumberjack match. Lumberjack matches are tricky, especially, in a packed house. There's not a lot of room at ringside. It's very, very, very difficult to, manage the crowd, manage those people. And I will say this. I've known Corey Diamond for a long time. I've known him since he first broke in when he was still a teenager. And he's had some ups and downs, and he's had some challenges. He's been primarily a tag team guy. He's also worked a lot as an enhancement guy for a lot of young guys come up and coming. So I was very, very impressed with the reaction to not only Corey, but to his opponent, Reggie Gallagher, former friends, former tag team partners, former members of the company together. When Corey got the Duke and he beat Reggie Gallagher, and that crowd went crazy, I was so proud of everyone involved in that match. So congratulations to everybody. You rocked that house. You did your jobs, and you made people really, really, really happy. So that is a fantastic thing. Fantastic thing. What do we got here? Early show, Laserbolt. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here as a part of the event. I'm just recapping some events right now, and then I'll talk more about the big stuff happening. And, of course, if we're going to recap the last bit of Anarchy in April last Friday, we have to talk about this guy. I took on OBW Wrestling's from Netflix's program, The Wrestlers, Mr. Eric Darkstorm. I just want to say what a consummate professional that man is. I want to say what an incredible competitor he was, and what a delightful challenge it was to wrestle somebody like that. Fine athlete, fine gentleman, hard hitter, lots of chops, but at the end of the day, and still, the best goddamn heavyweight champion in all of Canada, the Outlaw Adam Knight. Thank you for all 300 plus of you who showed up to Blaze Pro Wrestling's Anarchy in April 2 this past Friday here in Winnipeg. I'm heading on the road actually this weekend. I will be heading out with Corey Diamond and somebody else. I'm not sure who the third person is yet, all the way out to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And that is not a short drive, but not a long drive either, about 8.5 hours. I've got matches this Friday in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan against a very athletic and arrogant little man by the name of Jeremy Prophet. No warm-up matches here, motherfucker. And the following night, May 2nd, I will be wrestling the 7-foot, 300-pound giant Orion, and that should be a heavyweight tilt for the ages. And I'm looking forward to that. Should be a big, busy weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing the great people of Northern Saskatchewan. I will have shirts, I will have books, and all the other stuff that I've plugged on here. And I'm looking very much forward to delivering some smiles and some happy days to you all. So let's have a great time this weekend for Best Entertainment Wrestling, myself versus Jeremy Prophet, and, of course, versus the giant Orion. After that, of course, Blaze Pro Wrestling will be taking part of the Red River Extra in Winnipeg, all 11 days, I think. We will be having matches throughout the day, at the fairgrounds near the main stage. That is going to be a heck of a time. So if you're planning to visit Winnipeg or from anywhere in Manitoba or Central Canada, please come to the Red River X and check out our action at that time. Okay, so going to take a sip of water here because that's a lot of talking all at once. I've just been yammering for 10 and a half minutes. Yes, I've got one of these jugs that's got, listen, I'm a 300-pound man. If I don't remember to drink my water, I get very cranky. Very cranky indeed. Okay, let's talk. If there's no questions here from you, Laserbolt, or anybody else that's here in the following along, and I appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much. If there's no questions at this point in time, let's get to the major wrestling news in North America. So just before WrestleMania weekend, the team at AEW gave us what felt like put together the last-minute match between Darby Allin and the champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. MJF has been on a heck of a tear. He's been doing all the press. He's been having terrific matches. He's been an absolute gem professionally and in the ring to work with from everybody's standpoint. Just the previous Sunday, he and my boy Kenny Omega put on a clinic in the main event of AEW Dynasty. But also during that time, for all of you out there that are saying there was no build-up to this match, Darby's been on a tear the last couple of weeks, defeating people he normally would not be defeating, been taking major beatings, surviving the feud of Jon Moxley, and then against what's his name from New Japan, Gabe Kidd, so that's fine. And of course, let's not forget the fact that he and MJF have had a long-standing feud from the independent scene all the way through AEW. So, factor in MJF is on a tear. Factor in that he's been feuding and been one of the four pillars of AEW since the inception in 2019. Factor in the fact that Darby's never beaten MJF. The fact that MJF has been a cocky prick, saying he's been overworked, but not willing to turn down the challenge, even though he's been sort of forced into doing it. And the fact that he's bragged again and again and again about all the times he's defeated Darby Allin with a side headlock takeover. So, I understand if the first time you've watched AEW, you see a tiny little guy in face paint with a skateboard clobbering the world heavyweight champion, laying him out with his finisher 4 times, and then pinning him with a side headlock takeover in just minutes, and thinking that makes no sense. But I assure you, if you've been following the story and you know what everybody has gone through and what everybody's doing, it's a fine event, a great finish. And that hometown crowd for Darby went absolutely wild. They went crazy for it. And at the end of the day, you got to give the crowd what they want. You got to give the people what they want. Darby Allin is a fan favorite, not just in the Seattle, Washington area, but all over North America and everywhere that AEW goes. He's an ultimate underdog. He's a risk taker. And while I don't think he's going to have a terribly long reign as the AEW champion, I think having a nice media pop, having a nice news-worthy finish right before WWE's biggest weekend of the year, right before all the news from WWE drowns out the rest of the wrestling world, makes sense to me. I get it. And I want to congratulate everybody involved in setting that match up. That was exactly what it needed to be at exactly the right time, in my opinion. Moving on. So who out here watched any of WrestleMania 42? I will admit I did not watch it live. I've been very busy. But I have watched it in bits and pieces on Netflix. Thank you for that. In Canada over the last couple of days. I could talk about the debuts on SmackDown and Raw before and after, but honestly, I just want to sort of get to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. In general, WrestleMania 42, there's too much going on to recap the whole weekend. So many indie shows, so many wonderful things happened. I understood what happened with Bloodsport and them possibly going out of business. And if that's the case, that's a terrible situation for all those involved. I heard the story about Brody Lee Jr. and Joey Janela going crazy. I know that my boy Brian Alvarez came sort of out of retirement, getting involved in the cluster. Whatever. that's all interesting stuff, and that's stuff for another podcast and another time. But for today, WrestleMania 42. I don't really have much to say about night one. Highlights for me, I really enjoyed the fact that Bad News Allen was posthumously inducted into the Hall of Fame. I had the pleasure to meet Bad News Allen, good Lord, many years ago when I was still very young into the industry, doing shows for Tony Condello and Don Callis. They brought Bad News in because, of course, Bad News was a mentor to Don, and Don wanted to have him around to help mentor some of us guys, and he was an absolute gem of a human being. So bless him, bless his family. That was wonderful to see that opportunity for them. With the rest of night one, I thought it was mostly unmemorable, I'm sorry to say. I thought Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre were in a real tough spot. They're second on the card doing an unsanctioned match under PG-13 scenarios. These guys are both hard-hitting big bastards who can really deliver. But it's clear they were handcuffed a little bit. So I thought they were both put in a tough situation storyline-wise and angle-wise, and that's no fun. That's no fun. The crowd is still into it. These guys are both stars, and they're both great. And they know how to deliver. But it definitely, for me, it took something away from me watching them try to do what they needed to do, and just with some restrictions put upon them. That's just life. It's tough when you got two guys that should be at the top of the card, and they're at least they're on WrestleMania, right? When you're on WrestleMania, you're doing all right, and you're doing more than all right. Trust me. This is a guy who just main event in front of 300 people on Friday, happily, by the way. I didn't, again, not much else very memorable from night one. It was nice to see Saraya or Paige make her re-debut for WWE. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I'm glad that it did. I was sort of sad to see them having to do a 4-way tag title match to get all those ladies on the card, but at least they were there and they had their opportunity. I was a little disappointed in Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vicaire because I both think they could do much better than that. Nobody's fault. Maybe it just wasn't their night. The crowd was into it. What do I know? But I think they're going to have a better opportunity again in a rematch down the line. Of course, the main event for one of the world titles, the undisputed one, but there's whatever. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, well, of course, with all of the Pat McAfee horse shit. There's nothing I can say about jamming Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee into this scenario that hasn't already been said by a bunch of other people in the wrestling media and otherwise. I would like to reiterate the thoughts of them that I agree with. I think if you're going to get two mainstream celebrities involved in wrestling, getting ones that are as qualified, that are as caring and interested in doing a good job as Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee is important. McAfee, obviously a big wrestling fan, got himself trained, did a lot of work, has had a couple of excellent singles matches. Jelly Roll, he beat Kit Wilson, but he also, made the commitment, got himself in shape, and wanted to do a couple of things. As far as the match itself, I loved the layout of it. They had the stuff they had to do with the celebrities, and they got them taken care of right away and put out of the way so they could go on and have the kind of match they needed to have. And I will say, it is so refreshing to watch a professional wrestling match main event a WrestleMania that doesn't feel the need to go a million miles an hour. And I say that, and that's not sarcastic at all. Orton goes at his own pace, and Rhodes is more than happy to go at that pace with him. Obviously, the crowd split here because while they love Cody, they really wanted Randy to be the guy. Obviously, in this match, Orton got a little color, which is fine, which explains why they didn't want to do it in the unsanctioned match earlier. Again, putting them in a shitty situation, but be that as it may. It was a weird setup where Orton came across as like a babyface, even though he's being very, very viperish. Obviously, unreal situation with, that errant punch that, cracked Cody's orbital bone. Finish was strong. I think it was what it needed to be. They couldn't get away with not having McAfee come back in, so I liked what they did. I liked Orton laying him out, and then as a result of him laying him out, him getting caught in the crossroads for the pin, I thought was the right call. That punt afterwards, though, oh, that made me, I was not comfortable watching that. But mostly because at that point in time, I already knew that Cody had cracked his orbital bone. So seeing the punt and seeing it be, I hope it was not as snug as it looked, but god damn, it did not look comfortable. Didn't make me feel good. Anyways, that was night one. Some 50,000 people there. Everyone talking about the price of tickets, and I'm sure there was a bunch of last minute reductions to get people in the upper decks. Be that as may. Oh, and congratulations to Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. Yeah, if you're expecting a little one, I applaud you all. Enjoy that. All right. That was night one of WrestleMania. I'm going to power through this a little quicker here. Night two is much stronger. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, God. Listen, nobody's getting paid by the hour in that one. I didn't think they were going to go much longer than 7 minutes, and they didn't. Brock Lesnar did the honors. He looked strong, but he also looked like the guy who is no longer the guy. And that's honestly that Brock can't be the guy. But if he's going to take his boots and his gloves off at the end of the match and say that he's done, I understand that SummerSlam's in Minneapolis, and I understand they're going to try to get him to come out of retirement, but that was kind of a perfect ending to that match. Nothing could have put Obafemi over stronger. So now it's going to be the follow-up to see what happens next. Yeah. As a big fella myself, I appreciate big fellas doing big fella matches. I always think that's very impressive, and I'm glad to see it. Obviously, that 6-man ladder match for the IC title was great. I love the fact that Penta retained. I love the fact that they did some very innovative, dangerous-looking stuff that, by and large, wasn't as crazy as it could have been. They made a lot of effort to make sure that all 6 men were constantly trying to go for the title and not spending forever just setting up spots. That's not to say there weren't spots. I think JD McDonough is a psychopath for taking that destroyer onto the ladder bridge, but looks like everyone came out okay. So great match, very exciting. Happy to see Ray back in there doing the stuff. That's always great. So kudos to everyone involved. I love Fergal. I love Finn Balor. That demon entrance is wild. I thought their match was good. Had a ton of heat. With Dominic Mysterio still being the AAA Mega Campeon for AAA in Mexico, and considering he's got some big matches coming up down there with El Grande and possibly his father, I didn't like seeing him lay down here, but this is the right finish for this match, right? That means they can end what they're doing and hopefully move on from there. And I'm sure the feud will continue in some way, but I don't really see how. So be that as it may. Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, my God. If you told me that 5 years ago that Jade Cargill will be having a really high-end main event style match on WrestleMania, I wouldn't have believed you. Not that she was bad. I just thought that she would not be here this quickly. Tremendous athlete, tremendous effort. And Rhea Ripley is one of the best women in the world right now. So I was very happy with this one. I thought this match really over-delivered. Lovely seeing some powerful, athletic female wrestlers really being given the time and the space and the story to deliver a quality match for that crowd. And that final sequence I thought was really, really good. Put both ladies over really strong. And then you get to the main event. CM Punk and Roman Reigns for the WWE World title. Again, not undisputed. I don't really know where to go with that. By the time I'd watched this match, it was a couple days afterwards, everyone had said what a tremendous match it was, so my expectations were probably too high. Really damn fine match. I'm sure it was crazy to watch live. I love the fact that this was straight up. No interference, no BS. It's WrestleMania main event, so even though it's not technically no disqualification or under stipulation, basically anything goes, which is what it is, but it's a WrestleMania main event for a world title. Refs are going to let some shit go. Anyways, I thought they told a really good story. I liked actually just how much wrestling there was in this match. It wasn't just a slugfest all the way through. I think Roman Reigns seemed a lot more mobile and active than he usually is in these matches. Usually when he comes back now, we get lots of punches, lots of kicks, lots of brawling on the outside, lots of posing, lots of looking at my oily abs. And I thought they really delivered a quality main event. Punk looks great. He's been, if to permit me a David Boy Smith Jr. line, he's been taking his shakes and he's been working out real hard, and that's good to see. Not that he was ever really out of shape, but he's dialed in right now. Good for you, man, in your last run. I think everyone looked great. To me, the finish felt a little flat, but I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting the finish there, but not that. But the crowd liked it. They got the point across. And I think I like what they're doing with that going forward. So, yeah. Lots of stuff happening in the world of professional wrestling these days. Lots of stuff happening all around the world. But I'm not going to talk about that today. After a very heavy wrestling last 2 weeks, and more to come for me this weekend, again, as I said, in Saskatoon with Bester and him in wrestling, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about it, talk about what I thought, and talk about what I thought the highs and the lows were. Obviously, again, everyone was talking about the price of the tickets at WrestleMania, and I can't comment on that. Like, I haven't paid for a wrestling ticket in a very, very long time, giggity. So it's a tough situation. I don't really know where to begin with that, but I'm happy that the people that were there had a good time. Obviously, there was a tragedy with a fan from the UK who unfortunately didn't make it home to the UK after WrestleMania. No foul play, apparently. I don't remember the gentleman's name. I just heard about this on the Wrestling Observer Live yesterday. Alvarez and Lance Storm talked about it. Apparently, the gentleman had some medical complications. And anyways, my condolences to that gentleman's family and friends and anybody who went to WrestleMania with him. Aside from that, though, a good weekend. Again, all of the indie events around WrestleMania seem to be really strong. Even the Juggalo Championship Wrestling one, I don't know about that. That's just me. Janela does a good job with his spring break shows. And yeah, so that's what I got for here. How about you all? If there's anyone out there that has any thoughts about WrestleMania this weekend, about All Elite Wrestling's activities the last little bit, the Darby Allin finish, the champions, Orton punting, the head off of Cody Rhodes. If anyone's got any thoughts or any ideas, let me know in the comments. Or if you're not here live, leave in the comments. Please leave them down below. Like and subscribe to my channel. Please share my video to anyone who you think might be interested. Of course, please go check the links up in the corner for my merchandise in regards to my t-shirts and all of my books that you can find on Amazon. And I think that's going to be it for today. I really appreciate all of you being here. It means the world to me that you are. And so much stuff happened in the world today, and there always is. And I hate to miss out on any of it, but I'm enjoying the fact that wrestling is for everybody. I'm enjoying the fact that it is as inclusive as it's been in a long, long time. I love the fact that locally here we are drawing really, really well as a result of literally the third professional wrestling boom I've seen in 30 years. And I'm grateful to it. I'm grateful to Blaze Pro Wrestling. I'm grateful for what I'm seeing with Maple Leaf Pro that Demora and Don Callison be running out of Windsor to expand the Canadian brand. I'm very happy with all the indie stuff I'm seeing in the United Kingdom, across the States. I'm happy to see that New Japan and AAA and CMLL are doing well in both Japan and Mexico, respectively. The Australian scene is doing really well. And like 'em or hate 'em, TKO and WWE are doing really good business. So when they're doing good business, everyone does good business as well. So thank you to professional wrestling for providing me a creative outlet, a reason to be active and more. Thank you to everyone who supports what we do in that ring. Thank you to everyone who supports me just by being here live or being here later or downloading the podcast at another time. I'm stumbling over my words, which means it's time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Outlaw Radio. Please like, subscribe, hang out, do what you need to do. I appreciate you all. And I'll be back next Wednesday. I don't know what time I'm going to be around next Wednesday, but I'll be back next Wednesday. Thank you very much. Take care.